Jai Srila Prabhupada, Nana Sastra Vicharanaika Nipunau, Sad Dharma Samstapakau, Lokanam Hita Karinau Tribhuvane, Manyau Sharanyakarau, Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Anandena Mattalikau, Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghujugau, Sri Jiva Gopalakau. We almost finished our analysis of the word sound. Now I will be taking this tour to analyzing the word education. The most ancient educational system for a Vedic Pramana, we can say, in the Mahabharata, Drupada and Drona, they were studying Vedic style education in the Gurukula. Krishna and Balarama, after the killing of Kamsa, releasing their parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, were sent to Santipani Muni's Vedic Gurukula school. Santipani's son is one of the great friends of Krishna and Balaram beginning at Gokul and then in Vrindavan, in Brajalila. His name is Madhu Mangal. Tall boy, tallest among the all. And he was also, for the safety of his own life, Shantipani left him with Nanda Maharaj. So, at least we are talking of 5,560, 70 years old system of education. And we don't have any pramana of education earlier than that. So, ancient Indian education system means Vedic education. Therefore, Vedas occupy a very important place in the life of a civilized Indian. The whole basis of Indian culture is on the Bitti, on the foundation in the Vedas, which are 4 in number. Riksama, Yajur, Evacha. Krishna says, Vedyam Pavitram Omkaram, Riksama, Yajur, Evacha. Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Evacha. And if there is anything more. After dividing the one Veda into 3 divisions, prayer, incantation, music, then what was left was bigger than the other 3 put together. So that was known as the Atharva Veda. Some scholars have subdivided Vedic educational period into a kind of a time scale. Because they thought that simultaneously this whole syllabus could not have been made by somebody because they cannot make a syllabus like that. So then they cut it into periods like Brahmana period, Upanishads period, Sutra period, Smriti period. But actually they were all simultaneously created by God. Vedesya sarver ahameva vedya vedanta krit vedavid vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. So, because they simultaneously appeared and at different times disappeared, people have this illusion that, this period, Vedic period, Upanishadic period, has all trying in one way just to put down the Indian system of education. That's all. They cannot see that except their country, any other country is more advanced. It's called basic enviousness. in Tamil language, there is a very famous statement which says that a king is worshipped in his own country, whereas a learned man, a kavi, is respected in all countries. So all that you should need is a tolerant approach, that sometimes some country was advanced, sometimes some other country was advanced. And advancement is not for fighting with each other. Advancement is to exert as much as possible to know the truth. It's nothing to do with the other person running behind you and you keep looking at his nose and then you want to go and break the ribbon. Now, that kind of thing is very silly and this kind of thing is very childish. So, totally cutting off the idea of Samhita time and Upanishadic time and Vedic time and Shad Darshanik time and Brahma Sutra time and commentary time, etc. Try to see it in a wholesome manner, that there are Vedas and there was education and the Vedic education came about. That's all one has to be. You don't need to, like the Atlas who was carrying the globe on his head. We just have to accept what is said in the parampara. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarishyo vidu. Sa kale neha iha mahata yoga nashta parantapa. O torturer of enemies, from the beginning this knowledge was handed down in the Gurukula system. Gurukula system is within bracket. It was handed down and there was no other system we see in the Mahabharata or in the Ramayana. So it was handed down by the Gurukula system. If you don't like it, you can jump in the lake. Or you produce a better way of understanding what was the education in this country, which is considered as poor India by other people, so-called rich people, who have only currency notes. That's good, simply by wiping the backside after passing shit. That's all. So why be envious? What's wrong in accepting that India is a great country? Or you produce another information, I will accept that. Neither you will produce nor you will accept. This means you're simply a dog. You're not even human. What's the question of having tarka, logical argument with you? You won't accept, neither you will advance nor you will let people advance, and everybody should just destroy themselves. So they have had a beautiful syllabus between, actually it's not good to tell their names again and again, between two idiots. They gave the East India Company a good education system which will create some white collar peons and butlers, that's all. Until today, the people are so attracted to have a white collar over the brown collar and the red collar over the white collar. This is simply gulami. Slaves, they don't smell the jasmine which grows in front of their house, but they are ready to go and smell some stool, according to Prabhupada, some stool which is covering the petals of a horny, those plants with horns and with some thorns like that. Like, for example, arka flower, which is totally poison. According to Dr. F.E.G., it's spelled K-E-Y. To achieve their aim, not only did Brahmanas develop a system of education which survived even in the events of the crumbling of empires and the changes of society, but they also, through all these thousands of years, kept a glow of torch of highest learning. In the words of Dr. P. N. Prabhu, Education in ancient India was free from any external control like that of the state and the government or any party politics. It was the king's duties to see that learned pandits pursued their studies and performed their duty of imparting knowledge without interference from any source whatsoever. The education system that prevailed during the Vedic times had some unique characteristics. Education was confined to the upper caste and to those who were brahmacharis, means celibate student. Is the second phase. This is the time set aside for learning and acquiring skills. During Vedic period, much of the upper classes, which were either Brahmins or Kshatriyas, had their education in a unique system called Gurukula. Students had their education by living with their preceptors in forests, far removed from cities, towns or villages. In the Vedic life, the professors, they all lived in the forest. When we say professors, we mean the rishis. The rishis of various vidyas, their residences were all in the forest because the forest life goes together with the principles and aims of the Vedic system of education. And because they were there, the students, the brahmacharis, they lived with them. And they came into the cities only for begging the alms. They will come in the morning after the morning classes are over. Till the afternoon, they will go beg from house to house and bring some rice, some dal, some vegetables like that. It will be given to the Guru's wife, and the Guru's wife will cook it, and they will make an offering. And by the time they will learn their extracurricular activities, and it is like close to sunset, then they get something to eat. If the Guru says, this boy should not be fed today, there is no way he will even try to get some food. The life of students who were called Shishyas was very rigorous and demanding. Those who failed to live up to that high standards would simply fall by the wayside. There were legendary acharyas like Sandipani and Dronacharya who taught epic heroes like Krishna Arjuna martial skills. But what makes the Vedic period unique is the existence of sages like Gautama and Jaimini, who were founder of six different schools of Indian philosophy, like the Nyaya and Purvamimamsa. This was the period of intense intellectual activity and proper speculation to confirm the truth, not just mental speculation, which we hardly find even now. While Nyaya and Vaisheshika were theistic philosophies, Sankhya and Yoga were atheistic. There were two types of brahmacharis who attended such gurukulas. They were Upakurvanna brahmachari, who remains a student for a limited time period, after which he marries and he becomes a householder and he is called an adhikari. And Naishtika brahmacharis, who remains a student and celibate throughout the life, dedicated to the pursuit of learning. I am stopping here for want of space. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Now we are discussing education.